Merry Christmas and welcome to the VeryVera show. I'm Vera Stewart and I'm so happy to have you with me. You know, Christmas is right around the corner and I could not be happier than to introduce Sally and Kathy from Three Monkeys in Aiken. And you know, they are helping me so much right now. We've got the outside all decorated. They're putting my kitchen into a Christmas wonderland. And I'm so excited, you know, you get so used to the same old thing and it's kind of fun to put a new twist on it. So as they're working on that, I'm going to be putting together a wonderful Christmas meal. An individual beef Wellington that is just scrumptious and is going to look so festive. And then I have a vegetable terrine dish that's layered, is so mouth-watering, it is delicious. So get a glass of wine, a cup of hot tea, join us. Kathy and Sally are going to be putting all the finishing touches on the kitchen, and I'm going to be making it smell really wonderful. So join us in just a few minutes. Welcome back, and you know, Christmas is right around the corner, and I'm so excited to have my friend Sally Rich with me today from Three Monkeys in Aiken. Sally, thank you so much for joining me, and you know, what you're doing here in the kitchen is just terrific. So why don't you tell everybody what your thoughts are and some tips and ideas?
We are thrilled to be here and put our things in your beautiful kitchen, and we want people to realize that you spend most of your holiday time in the kitchen, so you should bring your Christmas out to your kitchen so you can enjoy the holidays and not be sitting in the living room.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't have to be Christmas items like we have here. You can take everyday items like this red pitcher that was really purchased for the 4th of July. Pull it out for Christmas. Along with this spring green plate, that was an Easter item. Put those two together and you've got a beautiful Christmas display. These are not Christmas glasses, but the colors go with the red and the green and they give you a little fun party feel for your counter.
I love it. And the silver stuff is awesome.
Well, I love red and green and always have for Christmas, but you always want a little sparkle. So the red and the green in these cabinets will pop out, and then the silver gives you that Christmas sparkle and that Christmas feeling, and it all works beautifully together.
It is beautiful. Oh my goodness. Well, as you can see, she's really putting her finishing touches on it and will be doing this for me all along the way. So Sally, thank you. And while she's continuing that, I'm going to get started on this beef tenderloin dish. It is superb. So I went to the fresh market and, you know, I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to do this today. I'm putting my temperature on really high here on my frying pan, and I'm going to put just a little bit of olive oil in the pan to get these fillets simmering, just to get a nice crispy crust on the outside. But you just want this really just to kind of bounce. So what I've done is, instead of doing all beef fillets, I'm also going to use the tips. So I'm going to get this one. This is a fillet. I'm going to get it started simmering in this, get a nice crispy crust on this. And then you know, one of the ways that you can do this a little bit more economically is to buy the tails. And certainly that's, you know, that's still part of the tenderloin, but it's going to be a little bit less per pound than the individual fillets, but it's going to look really beautiful when I cover it with the puff pastry. So I've got a little bit of fresh cracked pepper. I'm going to season both sides with that, and then some kosher salt. And what I'm doing in the pan, all I want to get done there is just enough to brown it on all sides. So I'll go ahead and flip this one over. Turn that up just a little bit. And on the tails, one end is a little bit thinner, so you'll have to watch that a little bit closer. But these are going to look really beautiful in the puff pastry. Now, on cooking this, when we get this ready to go in the oven, about 12 minutes is going to be perfect for rare, about 14 for medium rare, and 16 for well done. So we're going to keep these cooking just a few more minutes to get them brown all the way on the outside. And when we come back, I'm going to show you how to gather it with the puff pastry. I'm going to make a delicious chicken liver pate that even if you don't do this dish, you're going to want to do the pate for appetizers during the holidays. So come back and join me. Sally and Kathy will be putting some more things in the kitchen, and we're going to get this dish put together. You know, I thought I was looking all festive today in my holiday apron, but it's nothing compared to what Sally Rich has done from Three Monkeys to make this place look fabulous. Sally, oh my gosh, I thought I loved the other cabinet. I really love this one.
Well, in this cabinet, we used a variety of different things and added some height, which is really important for interest and for being able to see the item. This little red tray is just on a little brown stand, lifted up, and then you can see it clearly. These cake stands, even though they're tall, need a little more height, and we added just a folded kitchen towel just to give it just a bit. Turning a bowl upside down will also allow you to get some height.
It's just beautiful. Well, Sally, thank you so much, and we're going to get started over here on finishing the beef Wellington. What I did earlier was I browned a fillet and 2 tails, and now I'm ready to make the liver pate that goes on top, and it is scrumptious. So the recipe is very simple, and believe it or not, you are supposed to buy pre-cooked chicken livers at wherever your favorite chicken place is. Just order a ½ pound of the fried chicken livers. So I'm going to put those in my food processor, and they've already got a wonderful crispy crust, and that's part of what makes this pate recipe so good. Over here I have sauteed in about a ½ a stick of butter a little bit of chopped up Vidalia onion. So I'm going to add that to it. And then to that, we're going to put some heavy cream. Some fresh tarragon. And then this is the best part. We've got port, 1/8 of a cup, and brandy. And then that's just gonna mix up really well in this food processor. Just pulses for a few minutes. You can make it kind of crispy or chunky, whichever you like. And at this point, you would want to refrigerate this. And so what I've done is I made some yesterday that I've already got prepared in a little custard cup. And now I'm ready to wrap these tenderloins and get them ready for the oven. So I'm going to take one of the tails that we did, and this is where you take the pate, and you're going to put a nice coating of this just on the top. So you're really just icing the top of the fillet. And it spreads so well, and this is actually wonderful on a baguette or just on a cracker with maybe some capers or a piece of shrimp. It just really makes a wonderful appetizer. All right, so now I've got my puff pastry that you can pick up at the grocery store, or you can pick it up at VeryVera, whichever you prefer. And I'm just wrapping it up like a blanket with the puff pastry. And now to decorate the top of it, I'm going to make some holly leaves. Got my knife, and I'm just going to make the shape of a holly leaf to go on the very top. And these are going to kind of puff up. So I'm going to get these decorated. I'll do a nice wash on this with egg white and water. Put this on a sheet pan. It's going to bake in a 400-degree oven. So come back with me. I'm going to get started on the vegetable terrine, and we're going to see what kind of beautiful place setting that Sally and Kathy have ready for us to work on. Welcome back, and I am at the stove putting together a wonderful white sauce, a delicious roux that I'm going to add some cream to, and this is going to be part of our vegetable terrine that is just fantastic. You know, I know all of us think it's always the same vegetable and what can you do differently, so I really hope that you'll try this recipe for a vegetable terrine. It uses broccoli, carrots, and cauliflower. So what I wanted to do today was to show you really in terms of making a really great roux, if you can let the butter and the flour cook long enough that you start to get kind of a golden brown tint to it, you're going to get that really toasty flavor when it's prepared. So this is actually almost there. It's gotten a nice kind of a golden brown. This is just butter, flour, half a cup of each, and I've put a little bit of kosher salt and pepper in there. And now I'm going to add whole milk. And this is where you want to work swiftly so that everything will come together very smoothly. So I'm just kind of stirring about, and I've got it on almost a medium temperature. And this is going to thicken up really nicely, and this becomes the basis of the recipe for the terrine. So as I add this in, the clumps are kind of out of it because as you're making this sort of a roux, the butter and the flour together kind of incorporates the flour so that you don't have that lumpy texture. So this is just going to cook for several minutes to get nice and thick. And as that's going, I'm going to get started on the vegetables. So what we have here is some beautiful cauliflower, broccoli, and carrots. And I'm going to do the broccoli dish first. So these have been steamed. And I'm going to take the broccoli out and chop up into some really nice chunks, and then that's going to go in the food processor. So just kind of fork tender is all you want to do here. So I'm going to add that in. And this is just such a nice different texture for a vegetable. I know we all get tired of the same old thing, casseroles and that sort of thing. So let me give this a stir and see how this is coming over here. In the meantime, this also has eggs in it. So I'm going to get those eggs out of the fridge. And we're going to have 8 eggs to this mixture. And again, on this sort of a dish, this is something that you can do ahead. It's going to bake actually for 2.5 hours. So once it's done and in the pan, you can kind of walk away from it for a little while. But this is something that is going to make quite a statement when you put it on the table, and it's going to look so pretty on the plate with the wrapped pastry on the beef tenderloin, and then this sliced nicely on the side with the mushroom sauce. So this uses 8 eggs. And again, I want to keep stirring this. It's really coming together. It's getting nice and thick. It's just what we want. Got 2 more eggs. And then I'm going to be ready to pour that white sauce into the food processor and get that going. All right, just about there. All right, so we're doing this in thirds. We've got 3 different vegetables, carrots, cauliflower, and broccoli. And now I'm going to take this really nice sauce and I'm going to put 1/3 of it into the container with the broccoli. And you can either put this in a measuring cup and measure it that way, or just kind of take an eyeball look at that. All right, so I'm just going to pulse this and get it nice and pureed. All right, and now I want to add to that about 1/3 of the egg mixture. And I'm going to do this with each one of the vegetables. And what a pretty color. So once this is prepared, this is going to go into the pan. And this becomes the first layer of the terrine. All right, so when we come back, I'm going to put the cauliflower and the carrot in there. This is going to go in a water bath in a 350-degree oven. So come back and we'll be putting this all together. I'm I'm getting ready for a dinner party. My favorite part is to plan the menu. But you know, one of the things I try to consider is first of all my guest list, and then whether or not I think there might be some food allergies involved. If it's a list of people that I have all the time, it's generally not a consideration. But if I'm inviting some people I've never had to my home, I might want to shy away from seafood or anything very, very spicy. When you are in a situation when you're at someone's home for dinner and you've got some food allergies or food concerns, the best thing to do is to just probably look at the things that are on the plate, make your choice of what you think is appropriate to eat, and truly don't talk about your food allergies or whatever foods you like or dislike at the dinner table. Be sure that you thank your hostess or host for the food that they prepared. If the guy was on the grill, be sure to say great job. But whatever you do, just remember to do it in good taste. Welcome back. Girls, can y'all smell this sauce? I mean, it's bad enough to be around all of these beautiful things, but then the aromas kind of start to get to you too. But I want to again thank Kathy and Sally from Three Monkeys in Aiken for joining me today and for making this set look so spectacular. Your shop is just wonderful, and I know you certainly want to invite everyone to actually come to Aiken and see your shop and let you visit with them and see what you can do to their home kitchen and everything else. But speaking of that, we've got some beautiful Christmas china, and you're going to do a place setting for us.
Yes, we've taken our Christmas tree plates from the cabinet and our solid red plate, keeping with our red and kind of lime green theme. We're just going to set this with a dinner fork, a salad fork. Always turn the edge of the knife toward the plate.
That's right. You must have listened to my etiquette tip.
And then we have these beautiful gilded glasses.
Aren't those beautiful?
To give us some more of that Christmas sparkle. And they pick up the gold in the gold and red napkin ring.
Well, and then the napkin ring has got a holly on it, and that's what we did on top of the Wellington, so that's just wonderful. Well, what I've done, we did the Wellington, had the terrine, and then I've done a sauce, a mushroom sauce to go on top of the terrine. And just so you know, this actually called for canned mushrooms, the original recipe. And so when you see that in a recipe, just spark it up a little bit, just like you've done here, and use fresh. And I chose baby portobello mushrooms for this, and I've just sauteed them in butter. And then this is a cup and a half of heavy cream, whipping cream, and it's just cooked down until it is a wonderful, just a really nice thickness. So there's no flour in here. This is just a reduction of a cream and mushroom. So that's going to go over the terrine. So now for the moment that we've been waiting for as to see whether or not this terrine is going to look right. This is the one that I did earlier, and again it went in a water bath, and that's just a larger pan that I put about enough water to cover up to half the pan, and then I baked it for 2.5 hours. So now the one that I did earlier, oh, doesn't that look pretty? And at Christmas time, you could do most anything, cherry tomatoes, whatever colors you're using there. But if you've also got some of the leftover fresh vegetables that you actually use to make it, that looks really pretty too. Maybe some of the shredded carrot. But I'm going to slice this and get this ready to go with the mushroom sauce and have you guys taste. So let's break in that beautiful china and see what this looks like and tastes like. So as you can see, the Wellington's puffed up really nice and pretty, nice and brown, and that's a very large serving. So the tail of the tenderloin that we did is an ample serving, or you could do half that size, maybe a petite 4-ounce fillet, but this came out to a medium rare or about a medium. And when you don't know what your guests prefer as far as the temperature of meat, it's always good to go with medium. So this baked for about 16 minutes on a 400-degree oven. And now we're going to do a slice of the terrine with that. Oh, and it's so pretty. And then I'm going to finish it off with the mushroom sauce. And I'm going to let y'all sample. But it's really going to be a really pretty plate. All right, so while they're trying that, I certainly want to remind everyone that all the recipes are on NBC26.tv. Just go to the VeryVera show. And as you get ready to think about your holidays, maybe plan something a little bit unusual. This is an easy dish to prepare, and it can be done ahead. It's just wonderful. I want you to be sure to tune in next week. I'm going to be in a beautiful Augusta home. We're going to be doing holiday cocktails, so join us back then. But remember, whenever you have time to share your activities with friends, no matter what you do, do it in good taste. Thank y'all both again so much for coming. I'm so glad. Isn't it good? Merry Christmas.